Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ambassador of the World Wrestling Network, Trevin Adams. I'm here in Orlando, Florida, Evolve 46, ended just moments ago. And I'm joined by Timothy Thatcher, who made history in Ybor City at Evolve 45, becoming the DGUSA Open the Freedom Gate champion and the Evolve champion. And in fact, at Evolve 46, less than an hour ago, in the ring with Chris Hero's successful Evolve championship defense. So Tim, we know quite a bit about what you can do in the ring. We know what you are as a professional wrestler. But one thing we don't know a lot about is your background. We don't really know a lot about you as a person. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood?
It was fine. My parents are wonderful people, and they taught me to work very hard. Forgive me if my answers are a bit muddled. I'm still a bit knackered from the contest, but I don't really want to focus on the past. I'm more of a man that lives in the present, sir.
He's got the pressure of all that weight leaning on him right now, and again, you talk about somebody being exhausted and in trouble, and he's taking a ton of punishment. Takes a big knee to that elbow. Like I said, Thatcher, the guy's like a surgeon in there, picking him apart. Back to the elbow again.
And clearly the game plan of Thatcher is to, oh my God! He may have just broken the fingers of Drew Gulak right there. That was a sickening thud.
Those aren't your typical disrespectful slap across the face by any means.
No, especially when you get hit in the ear. Oh, European uppercut. Busick took a chance, and it may have cost him right there. Yeah, when you throw those open hand strikes like that to the ear, you completely destroy your opponent's equilibrium. Almost create like a vertigo situation. And Busick is limp in the hands of Thatcher. Go to the ring.
Biff Busick leaves him with a 2-1 record. Timothy Thatcher also has a 2-1 record. However, with the win of Timothy Thatcher over Biff Busick last night in Orlando, that gives Timothy Thatcher the tiebreaker over Biff Busick, giving Timothy Thatcher the win of the So Cal Val round robin tournament.
Yeah, just like I said, the head-to-head victory is the tiebreaker.
So Tim, I gotta say, one of the more interesting things to me personally, when it comes to professional wrestling, in this day and age, social media. I mean, social media reigns supreme. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can pretty much find professional wrestlers on podcasts. You Google Timothy Thatcher, you really don't come up. You're a bit of an enigma. Well, why don't you really have a presence on social media?
I don't think I'm an enigma. I'm just a private guy, and in fact, like, that's my phone. Like, and I'm not even a fan of really having this, but you need to have something to get through in this day and age. So I'm not a fan of talking. I prefer doing.
But again, Sabre right against the ropes. And this one has been back and forth. And maybe the temper getting the best of Thatcher right there.
He's got to be getting a little frustrated. You can see the pain etched across his face with the agony of the injury in the left arm, but you can still see the power there of Thatcher. Dead weight. Picks up Sabre, up and over.
Gut wrench into the side salto, and he hangs on. What strength. Once upon a time, a guy by the name of Claudio Castagnoli used to call that the Les Artes lift. Whatever happened to that guy?
He's been off the scene for a little while, Lenny. Look at it again, but Thatcher, even after that beautiful display of strength.
Tim, I guess a bit of a simple question. What do you do for fun?
I prefer to improve on myself, improve on my professional wrestling. I spend my days training and working out and watching tapes and reading, and that may not be fun to some people. That's how I spend my time. I mean, from time to time I do enjoy a punk rock show, but mainly improvement, that's the end goal.
Maybe a way to help us better understand you. Can you take us through a typical day in the life of Timothy Thatcher?
I don't mean to be a bastard, sir, and try to avoid the question, but I'm a private man. And as I said, I spend my days just trying for improvement.
Textbook application of the move on the part of Roderick Strong. Looking for the stronghold, but Thatcher kicks him into the ropes. Small package! Small package!
Oh my God, I thought he had him, Lenny.
Oh, jumping knee strike. Rolling elbow. Headbutt to the midsection. This one has gotten physical. Butterfly suplex floats over into the cover. No. Fujiwara armbar.
It's been a year, about a year you've been in Evolve, and we haven't seen you associated with anybody. I mean, heck, I was on the tour of China, and I didn't even see you really during the tour of China. I think it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear you have the respect of your peers. But when you won the DGUSA Open the Freedom Gate Championship and the Evolve Championship at Evolve 45, no one came out to congratulate you. There was no one from the back. So I guess what do you make of this? Why is that?
I respect every member of the Evolve roster. It's the best roster I've ever been a part of, and I'm very honored to be here. But when it comes to socializing, it's not particularly why I'm here. I'll spend my time by myself because I have my matches to focus on. I have to contemplate strategies, and how I'm going to win. And socializing tends to get in the way. And as I said, I respect them very much, but I prefer arm's length away.
Tim, thank you for taking the time to join us, especially not long after a match here at Evolve 46. It's going to be interesting to see where this era of Timothy Thatcher goes as our DGUSA Open the Freedom Gate champion and Evolve champion. And in fact, August 15th in Queens, New York, Zack Sabre Jr. Evolve 47 be that for next opportunity. So I guess any parting words for the WWN faithful?
I look forward to my contest with Mr. Sabre. I owe him one. As for the fans, I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate people wanting to know these things about me, but apologies. As I've said before, I'm not a man of words, I'm a man of action, and maybe I don't talk about it, but when you come see me in the ring, you know I'm going to do my best. So, thank you very much.
The prone body of Thatcher still hanging on to the back of his head and neck, which is taking some serious damage and abuse.
Looking for the future shot DDT. Countered. Fujiwara armbar. Galloway's foot under the ropes.
Referee
totally didn't see it. Thatcher pulls him away. Closer to the center. He's got it locked in. He may have to break his arm to get him to quit. That's what I just said. Oh, look at the angle of the shoulder. Galloway has the tap. We've got new champ.
Open the Freedom Gate and Evolve World Heavyweight Champion, Timothy Thatcher.
Well, Galloway won the title himself in an impromptu match. He lost it in an impromptu match. Timothy Thatcher is the new face of the World Wrestling Network.